Maxed out Darth Vader, every single epic star card, the new max level for heroes, level 40. The question is it worth it? Is it worth getting every single star card for Darth Vader, and which ones are the best? Vader was the most highly requested hero from the last episode where I maxed out Master Yoda, and if you're new to the channel as well, I've also already maxed out Darth Maul. So as always with this series, I have set today's video into 4 different parts. In the first part, we're going to be testing out Vader's first 3 star cards, the second part his next 3 star cards, and then the third part will be his final 3 star cards. And then in part 4, I will take my personal 3 favourite star cards for Darth Vader, put them together and show you how good they are in game. So for the first part of today's video, we've got our first loadout here, and this is mainly focused around Darth Vader's ability Focused Rage. 2 of the star cards here are centered around that ability, the first one which is Furious Resilience, where Darth Vader receives less damage while Focus Rage is active, and the damage reduction is 25% here. Next up we've got Bonus Health, where Darth Vader has increased maximum health, and the maximum health increase here is 150. And finally we've got Fueling the Rage. Every enemy Darth Vader defeats while Focus Rage is active will extend its duration, and the extended duration per kill is 25%. Okay, so the first thing I've got to say about this loadout is just how enjoyable it was to use. It was probably one of my favourite Vader loadouts. Now the Furious Resilience star card is actually something I mentioned in my least favourite star cards video around a month ago. I claimed that with not much experience using this star card, that the difference wasn't really that noticeable due to how overpowered Darth Vader already is. However, I need to apologise and say how wrong I was there. This is a brilliant star card, and sometimes when your health might be low, you can just activate this, go into a crowded room and take next to no damage sometimes. Along with the Bonus Health star card, which gives Darth Vader 150 extra health, getting it up to 1050. This is by far my favourite Vader card. With the Focus Rage, he can have temporary health of 1250. Fueling the Rage, however, is very situational. If there aren't many enemies nearby, Vader's not going to be able to extend the duration of the Focus Rage ability, so it really just depends on how many enemies are in your location. The second loadout here is mainly focused around Darth Vader's Saber Throw. The first star card is There Is No Escape, where the lightsaber throw travels farther, and the throw distance increase is 50%. Then we have Dark Lord. This star card isn't centered around Vader's Saber Throw. Instead, whenever Darth Vader defeats an enemy trooper, he regains 20 health. Whenever he defeats an enemy hero, he regains even more, and the health regained is 100. Then finally we have Intensified Saber Throw, where the lightsaber throw deals bonus damage to enemies hit by it a second time in one throw, and the bonus damage on the second hit is 40%. I think I have to say firstly here that this is already turning out to be one of the toughest episodes in which to decide the final 3 star cards for the video. Because the vast majority of Vader's cards do so much for him, There Is No Escape, where the lightsaber throw travels further, was actually much more important in game than I thought it would be. Just being able to hit those enemies from a greater distance really helped, and then combined with the intensified lightsaber throw, I didn't realise once again how important that second hit from the saber would be. Some enemies who were at a distance and didn't think I was any threat to them were so wrong, because I would just throw this saber and get 2 hits on them from the greater range as well. But I have to say, my favourite star card in this loadout was Dark Lord. Any star card that allows you to regain health is always a must for me, and the fact that when you kill a hero, you can regain 100 health is insane. On to loadout 3, and this loadout will mainly be centered around Darth Vader's choke. First star card is Punishing Grip, where Darth Vader can choke for a longer time, and the tighter grip is 40%. Then we have Deflection Stamina. Deflecting blaster projectiles will drain less stamina, and the stamina drain reduction is 25%. Finally, we've got Last Gasp, where Darth Vader deals more damage when choking 2 or more enemies, and the bonus damage is 50%. Okay, let's discuss this. First of all, punishing grip was a lot more effective than I first thought it would be. The only downside to this is that when Darth Vader chokes an enemy, he does become vulnerable, and the fact that the choke is longer makes him even more vulnerable to enemies. But if you manage to catch a few enemies off guard, I especially found in Heroes vs Villains, if you can catch a few heroes off guard, this is very, very effective. The heroes can't do anything, and you can just activate your focus rage, get the saber throw ready for as soon as they drop down, and finish them off. Deflection Stamina, I think we all know, is probably Vader's worst star card. The difference just isn't really noticeable, as Vader's stamina is very good in this game. Even without Deflection Stamina, you will be able to block projectiles for a very long time, so just don't worry about this star card, you don't need it. And I think Last Gasp is a lot like Fueling the Rage. It's very situational. If there aren't 2 or more enemies around, then the star card isn't going to have any extra effect. So I'd say Last Gasp is probably more effective in Galactic Assault where there are more enemies around. Finally, for Loadout 4, this was a very, very hard choice, and I know there's going to be a lot of people disagreeing with me here because I'm sure, unlike Yoda and Maul, where we tend to use the same star cards, or at least that's what I noticed in the comments, a lot of us had the same decisions, with Vader, there's a lot of different options we can have. But 2 of the star cards I've gone for here are from Loadout 1, and these are Furious Resilience, where Darth Vader receives less damage while Focus Rage is active. Then we've got Bonus Health, where Darth Vader has increased maximum health. And finally from Loadout 2 we have Dark Lord, where whenever Darth Vader defeats an enemy trooper he regains 20 health, and whenever he defeats an enemy hero he regains even more. I think Furious Resilience is the biggest shock for me on this list because I hated this star card before I started using Vader a lot, but now I would recommend it to anyone. These 3 cards combined make Vader so tanky. He's already got amazing health, he does amazing damage, but all 3 of these help him stay alive even longer. He cannot be stopped here. I so recommend using Furious Resilience when there's a crowded room and you can just go in and take hardly any damage and wipe out most of the enemies. Bonus health obviously helps Vader because it's even more health on top of his already overwhelming amount of health. And Dark Lord allows him to regain even more health from killing infantry and even more for heroes, so really you can't go wrong with this in my opinion. But that is about it for this video, everyone. Let me know in the comments who you want to see maxed out next. Now with the new progression system, it's a lot easier to do these maxed out videos, so I will try and max out the top comment that is in the comment section, obviously. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.